Hey everyone, this video is actually in response to a question I got on another video. So a viewer by the name of Justin, hello Justin, sent a question and said that his S6 Savant will not restart when warm. So after he drives it for about 30 minutes, it just simply doesn't want to start. So he's replaced the cam sensor and then the engine, basically the two sensors on the side of the trans as well. So what basically could be causing this. So I'm going to throw out just a couple of ideas and then also open it up to the people watching this in the comments who might be able to collectively chime in. And if you had this issue, you could actually throw some suggestions his way as well. But without further ado, here we go. Now, he did mention in his question that he says after he turns the car off, he can hear the fuel running to the fuel rail, which is a little puzzling to me. And I'm curious if it's actually fuel going into the fuel rail or if it might be the after-run coolant pump down here that's actually circulating coolant. That is a fairly common occurrence. And then if it is, in fact, fuel rail, are we sure it's coming in and not actually flowing back out? Because there is a fuel pressure regulator that sits right here. And that is one thing that I have had fail on these in the past that would lead to a hard start. Generally, they will restart, though. It will just take a while to repressurize the fuel system. So you'd have to maybe prime it a couple times or sit and crank it for a while. And eventually you'd get enough fuel to fire. So that's one possibility. The other possibility is still cam sensor. Even though you've replaced it, sometimes you can get bad ones right out of the gate. So one thing to try, and using a product not as directed, but I take an air duster, and when the car is hot and it's not restarting, sneak the air duster in so that you can basically get where that cam sensor is and then give it a good shot. And we're basically going to rapidly cool it off. So if the sensor is hot and doesn't work, let's ice that sensor, give it a shot. If it starts, then you know you've got a bad cam sensor still. And depending on if you used a factory one or the aftermarket little Chinese cheap ones, which actually I have in this car and it seems to work fine, but you know, things happen and sometimes even a new part can be a bad part. So that would be another thing to look at. The other thing that comes to mind would be obviously battery and grounds. These cars can be very sensitive with that. And with that, I could say like starter and solenoid. Is there something going on there? Again, you know, diagnosis over the internet is conjecture at best here. But the next thing I would look at would be the fuel pump relay. So look that up, and I'll try to put I want to say it's over by the ECU. I haven't had to do I mean, I replaced it kind of proactively years ago, but I've never had that actual issue. So in fact, I've never really had a hot start issue on any of my cars, other than I have had the fuel pressure regulator issue. And that's usually the first start in the morning is hard with that. And then once you drive it, it will refire because it still has pressure. But if yours failed in a spectacular fashion and it just flows right back out, then you could have a hard start at any point. So a couple of things, you know, that I guess come to mind there. I guess start with that, and perhaps the rest of the people viewing can chime in and give us some ideas as well if there's something that I'm just not thinking of at the moment. But yeah, good luck. And definitely keep us posted, and maybe we can try to figure this out. So good luck, Justin. See you next time.